If we really want to make an impact on agriculture in Africa, the starting point we have to work on is better crops.
Plant breeding as a discipline involves developing improved varieties adapted to drought, resistant to diseases, to pests, and all those conditions that farmers meet in Africa.
The African Centre for Crop Improvement is a training program for PhD students in plant breeding from African countries. Our students do mini projects where they can do trial runs of the breeding programs that they're going to do in their home countries.
No major society has really moved large proportions of people out of poverty without doing so through sustained improvements in agricultural productivity.
In some countries like Malawi, 90% of the population are small-scale farmers and are dependent upon their farms for their income. There's no way you're going to have economic development in Malawi unless you do something about the agricultural sector.
Africa today could be fully self-sufficient in food if we just doubled the production levels that are there right now.
We will need to find a way of helping Africans to feed themselves. And not just because farmers need to earn money. It's very important for them to produce their own food.
Seeds are not like vaccines. You can't just produce one seed and have it work everywhere in the world. 75% of African farmers don't use any form of improved seeds. One of the big reasons is that people are not producing seeds that they actually want.
Conventionally, we have bred varieties out of nowhere. We want to add another dimension, which is the farmer's view.
The ACCI is so important because it's actually training the fundamentals of crop breeding to Africans who are actually doing their research in Africa.
Many plant breeders in Africa were trained in Europe or the States, and they don't have the techniques and skills to do the breeding at home in Africa.
I think it's important to train Africans in Africa because we learn while we see our local environment, but also after finishing we just remain in Africa and try to help our farmers.
But they go home and they do their research at home, at their home research station, in the environments in which those crops are going to grow. So whatever they develop is in that home environment.
And it is this whole participatory breeding process where you do take into account smallholder farmers and you actually involve them in the process of picking the kinds of varieties that they want.
A lot of people have just maize-based diets. Maize has normally a very high phytic acid level. Now this impacts because it inhibits absorption of your minerals like iron, zinc, calcium, and a lot of other minerals. So by developing low phytate maize, you're going to get maximum absorption of those minerals.
I'm working with sorghum. It can grow with minimum moisture. So most of farmers who are usually resource poor are located in these dry areas. Our concern is to breed sorghum varieties that are high yielding for those small-scale farmers so that they can also have food like anybody else.
And as I start my career now as a breeder, we also have the support of the ACCI behind us. Wherever we go, we are like a family that is always going to work communally because we believe breeding is not a one-person's activity.
Really, it's about food security. A small-scale farmer knows reliably that he's going to have food every year and he will be able to feed his family.
The key to making it happen is build a lot of capacity locally, give new hope to meet the aspirations of a new generation of Africans whose livelihoods critically depends on agriculture in Africa.